Hi, I'm Mark Vernarelli. Welcome to Inside Harford County, a program where we sit down with our community leaders and discuss the issues important to the citizens of Harford County. Monday, March 4th already, and we're airing tonight live from the Harford TV studio. You can call and join our discussion, 410-638-3894. And the discussion tonight is the Department of Housing and Community Services. What a large department it is, a dedicated team offering many services important to the quality of life, from housing fairs, senior centers, transportation, volunteer opportunities, and so much more. We can't even list it all right now. With us to discuss what is offered by this department, Harford County Executive Bob Cassilly and Barbara Richardson, the Director of the Housing and Community Service Department. Thank you both for being here. Barbara, excited to hear about your background. We're going to let the county executive, first of all, be thanked once again for making yourself available to the citizens of Harford County. Great to have you.
It's great to be here. Good to be here. Spring is creeping out, and it's good to be here on the beautiful campus at Harford Community College. Coming on campus, it's just greening up just a little bit, and I'm anxious to see the springtime come out. So.
I'm hearing those peepers. I'm loving that.
Peepers they're going crazy out there, aren't they?
I'm just loving it. Yeah. You changed a few things when you came in, not the least of which was the Department of Housing and Community Services. Kind of revamped it, added to it. Talk about your overview and your insight for that.
Yeah, so it's really an important department. I like to say it's sort of the heart of our county government. We provide a safety net for our seniors, the disabled, the disadvantaged, the substance addicted. And we bring together all the federal, state, county resources, as well as a huge body of nonprofits and volunteer services to support those communities in need. And we do that through the Department of Housing and Community Services, Barbara as the director, and she's got a great staff over there and has really been doing a fantastic job. We did a little bit of reorganization to make it more effective and try to coordinate folks, brought them all together on one tent, so to speak. I think it's the best way to serve those communities. There's a lot of overlapping responsibilities and needs, and so by consolidating some folks, I think it really serves these folks in need a lot more effectively.
And Barbara, you seem ideally suited for this because you came from the nonprofit world and the legal side prior to that. Tell us about your background.
So I started off my career here in Harford County. After I law clerked for a judge, I went to work for a local law firm. But early on, kind of had that calling to help others. So I started the nonprofit. I ran a social service agency for about 12 years. And as part of my job as the executive director, I was always looking for and receiving grants, many of which came through the Department of Community Services. So I knew the process. So when there became an opening for an administrator, I applied. So I was in that position for about 8 years. When Mr. Cassilly came in, I was made the director of Department of Housing, and then we merged with the Department of Community Services. So I'm very familiar with most of the aspects of what we do, but at least the grant writing and administering, because we do have a lot of federal, state money that flows through our department. About $43 million comes through our department, which most of it goes out the door to help others. So, yeah. So
that's what it's all about, helping others.
Happy to be here.
How do you connect people to the services? The array of services is so vast. How do you start to connect people?
So we do a lot of community outreach. Whenever we see federal funding, we're required to do public comments, public meetings. So we try to get out into the community the best we can, get in front of the folks that really need it. We have a very vibrant marketing department that helps us. So we just we're always trying to spread the news, especially when we have events that are coming up that are going to help citizens. So,
Mr. Cassilly, it's kind of a broad question, but who do you see this department serving? It really serves everybody, but it has served some people more than others.
Yeah, I mean, it really does serve. I mean, it's a broad array. I mean, the seniors, the disadvantaged, the disabled, and folks with the lower income especially. And I have to get, Barbara understates her qualifications. She's an amazing manager, and she's got a great team over there with her. And these folks are, their number one qualifications are dedication to helping other folks. And I'm just thrilled to have them all working. I guess, a real big piece of who we're serving is the seniors. That population, as everyone knows, no secret, it's growing. And we're really dedicated to keeping those folks, particularly the active ones. We want our seniors to stay active and engaged, physically, mentally, with our community as long as they possibly can. And obviously, if they reach a point where they can't, then we want to provide them with referrals to the services they need to sustain themselves. And so it's great, and it's a fun population to go out and meet with and talk to, because they have so much to offer our community, and we don't want to sideline that. We want that to stay what the seniors have to offer. We want that to stay a vibrant part of our community, not just existing, but a vibrant part of the community. I'm proud with what we've been able to do.
And the Department of Aging, of course, would be the logical first stop for a senior citizen. Talk about that a little bit, that department.
So the Office on Aging has kind of two responsibilities. So the first is to provide outreach and educational and activities. So we have 4 county-run senior centers, one that we support in the northern part of the county, that offer programming. A lot of what most people are looking for is, active. They do a lot of exercise, and we want to keep our seniors fit and healthy. And then the other part of that is to provide resources for people as they age. We want to make sure that people can age in place safely, so we can connect caregivers and seniors with the resources they may need to stay in their homes, and when it comes time that they can't be in their home any longer, to provide the resources and connect them with services that can assist them to move into assisted living.
I would imagine there's a little challenge there with still the largely agricultural portions of the county and remote areas, so that's probably pretty challenging, and you probably are working on that quite often.
It is, and we have great staff at the Office on Aging, and they do a lot of outreach, and they can get up, they get connected, they go into communities. They, again, when it comes to connecting individuals with our services, they're great about attending community events, so they're getting out into the areas of the county and trying to touch everyone that they can and make sure that they're safe and know about our services.
And that piece of the community, just to chime in, the volunteer network that we have, that Barbara, her folks coordinate with, is amazing. We have the churches, nonprofits. We have a strong network. It's a throwback to the old Harford County, and I just can't say enough for what those folks do. It's really beautiful.
It really comes down to a sense of community, which Harford County, as a county, still has a lot of sense of community, for sure.
Yes.
We hear a lot, sir, about not only here but nationwide, about states suing these drug manufacturers for large amounts of money. And I know Harford County has received some of that money. How much have we gotten, and what are we doing with that money?
So these are when a lot of the addiction community, they were folks who started taking medication because they had a back injury or a leg injury. It was pain medication, and the marketplace was not right. The medical community was not right on this, and things were overprescribed, and that was unfortunate. A lot of people ended up addicted. Great people who had otherwise, lived a great life for 40, 50 years, and suddenly they become addicted to a substance. And there were lawsuits filed nationwide, and Harford County did join in. So far, we've pulled in $26 million, which is really, there's a lot of restrictions on how that can be used, but basically we'll be targeting that towards remediating some of the negative effects of those addictions. And it's essential, because it's not only messed up those people's lives, but it impacts the subsequent generation, their children, and some of those children were even born substance addicted. So obviously that hits into our schools. So we're working hard on that piece. We actually have a summit. Barbara's put together a summit this summer to really try to coordinate so we can isolate the best ideas and invest those funds in accordance with the many, many restrictions that the state law is putting on us and the feds to how we use those funds.
And of course, Barbara, that falls on you again, because the Office of Drug Control Policy is one of many agencies, sub-agencies, that fall within your purview, right?
Sure. And we have a great staff in that department. And so, like the county executive said, we are hosting a summit actually in April, because we want to make sure that we can touch all of those stakeholders. We want to make sure that we're doing the best possible use that we can with those funds. We don't want to make the same mistakes that were made with the cigarette relief funds. We want to make sure that the money that was the result of these lawsuits goes to the target populations. So we're going to look at, we know that we need to look at recovery, outreach, prevention, education, but there's just so many places that it could go, and all of whom are deserving. We want to be very careful and strategic about how we spend that money. So we've invited about 100 stakeholders to attend the summit. We're having a facilitator, and just really look what are the needs of Harford County in our community, and how can we best use these resources.
And sir, you're plugged into the public safety community. You, of all people, know we're not immune to these problems either.
No, it's not. And I spent a lot of time this first year of my administration going around meeting with the many agencies, entities, nonprofits, as well as medical folks that are providing treatment in these areas, from our hospital to the full array, all the way down to the local churches who provide assistance. And it's a great network. Unfortunately, there's never enough money. There's never enough resources. But we're doing the best that we can, and I'm proud of the effort that Harford County is putting into to try to combat this serious addiction problems that we share with the rest of the country.
We mentioned briefly people with disabilities. Barbara, that's another element of your department that reaches out to people with disabilities. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So we oversee the Office of Disability Services. We try to do a lot of education, outreach, events. We connect individuals with all different abilities with the resources they might need. And we try to host events targeted to those individuals. So, for example, upcoming, we're currently taking registrations for our iCamp Bike Camp. We're also looking at a nature event for both children and adults that will be coming. And we're always looking for different events and, again, opportunities to connect those individuals and families who have a child or an adult with differing abilities with the resources they need to address those.
Sir, you mentioned briefly again that we can't do it alone. It can't be all government, all agencies, all federal money. Talk a little bit about partnerships and your vision for how partnerships have played into all this.
Well, part of what Barbara just mentioned, the iCamp Bike Camp, I get to go out and watch that each year. You got, we pay just the seed money to bring a contractor in who's got these specially equipped bikes, kind of organize the matter. But you have kids not just kids, people of all ages who would never be able to ride a bike without this. And we bring them into a gym with a rubber floor, and they're able to ride around with these specially equipped bikes. And to watch a kid transition from an assisted bike until the point where they move out into the outdoor parking lot and ride around on their bike. And the thrill, the self-confidence in their eyes that they may be, 12, 13 years old or even older, and finally being able to ride a bike on their own. It's this kind of teaming up with the volunteers and stuff that really makes us such a rich and vibrant community. We provide, as a county, we partner up with our nonprofits for like Thanksgiving food drives. We work with the Harford County Community Action Agency, the Harford County Family House, and SARC and others, to provide the needs for so many people, from the people who don't have shelter, to people who are suffering from abuse or addiction. And so it's great. We need volunteers. That's the secret here. This is the seed money that the feds, the state, and the county provide. It's just that seed money. But without the volunteer base to support this, it can't work. And I'm thrilled to see the number of volunteers we get. But we need more, and we're always open. If you want to volunteer, let us know.
Absolutely. Harford Transit, another big entity that falls under your purview, and it's been changed somewhat in recent months. So talk a little about the network that Harford Transit has now.
So Harford Transit Link are the big blue buses that you see ride throughout the county. And over the last couple of years, we've expanded hours. So those buses run sort of fixed routes from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., I believe. So we're available throughout the day. We also have a demand response, and for other folks that need to get places. It's overwhelming. I'm still learning the routes and how to work it, but anybody who's interested or needs additional information, I encourage you to go to our website, Harford Transit Link. You can always call because it is a great resource and a very affordable way for folks to get in and around the county.
And I'll bet we need bus drivers.
I was going to say, Barb, don't forget to put a plug in for the bus drivers. We always need more bus drivers. We're always recruiting. I started a decent salary at $21.63 and a $3,000 signing bonus. So come on out.
And great county benefits.
And county benefits.
Right. Children and youth, yet another very important group of people whom you serve, and you have a kind of a division that deals with that. And something that I was interested in is the Bridge program. Talk a little bit about your department.
So the Bridge program is a grant, I guess, through the state of Maryland, through the court system, and our staff works with at-risk youth So they can be referred to us, it can be self-referrals, they can come through the school system. We also work through teen court, so sometimes they might, if they have gone through the teen court system as part of their rehabilitation, will have to come through the Bridge program. And so staff works and partners with other nonprofits as well, just to help teens get a good sense of themselves, deal with their mental health issues, and hopefully get on the path to good citizenship, moving forward.
The housing has to be one of the biggest issues that we deal with. If you live in certain areas, you may not think much about housing as a rule, but for many people, it's a huge issue, and, sir, a huge impediment sometimes. If you don't have the funds or don't really know how to get that house, what's the county doing to try to help people with their housing?
Yeah, so we have the Harford County Housing Agency, and their mission is to provide housing support to those low and moderate income folks. We've got a housing fair coming up on March 23rd at the Epicenter in Edgewood, and we're also have a program to provide down payment assistance for those first-time home buyers, and that can be up to $20,000. Home ownership is one of my administration's top priorities. There's nothing builds a strong community like people who are invested in the community because they own a piece of the community. And we want home ownership. We're pushing that. We're stressing that. And so we want those first-time home buyers to come take a look at us. If you didn't have the down payment, when you tried before, come back, talk to us. We want to help you through it. We got some great workshops to help you go through the process.
Barbara, do you get a lot of calls about housing specifically, and what are the people asking primarily? Oh,
yeah. Housing is just so unaffordable to a lot of people these days. Rents haven't gone up, I think, 50% over the last 6 or 7 years. So rentals are unaffordable, and we know interest rates are high. That we have low inventory, so it is difficult for both renters and homeowners. So we get a lot of calls. So our office provides rental assistance programs, and again, we're trying to encourage home ownership, and we know home ownership is the single biggest wealth builder for most Americans. So anything we can do to encourage, help folks get into homes. So that's why we have the down payment assistance program. We work with the state of Maryland, the Maryland Mortgage Program. They also have incentives. So we're trying really to encourage folks, if you can, try to buy. Again, homeowners are going to take better care of their properties, a wealth generator. So it's a great opportunity, and so we encourage folks. And if you think you can't afford it, call. We're a HUD certified housing counseling agency, so we offer free homeowner counseling. We do help folks with their budget. So you may be surprised. A lot of folks didn't think they could get into a home, but sometimes the cost of a mortgage is about the same or less as rent these days, and if you can have some tools to help you with your down payment and to get into the home, it might be an alternative to expensive rents that we have.
That's probably the single biggest impediment. People mentally just aren't there. Yep. They're like, I cannot afford 20% down. I can't put 5% down. So
if we can help with that, and the state can help with that, we can get people in their homes.
And I know that's close to your heart, sir, because you said that from the beginning that home ownership to you was a critical thing for the future of the county.
Yeah, we want people to be invested in the county. That's what gets you committed, brings folks in. And so Barbara and I have worked closely together to try to expand that, and I'm pleased with where we're going. It's good stuff.
I know one thing that was also very close to your heart, you've mentioned it several times on this program, is the Southern County Task Force, primarily geared toward folks living in Edgewood, Joppatown, and that corridor, the southern corridor going toward Baltimore County. And that has gained some steam, and it's had some public meetings. You have another one coming up in the spring. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So look, it's no secret that's the challenge area of our county. That's tends to be the lower income, tends to be more challenged in public safety, and they've been talked to death for years. People would come into office and say, I'm going to address those issues, and they were tired of the talk, and I knew that. So I didn't want to come in talking. We came in with my administration, and we started doing analysis. We pulled in data, all the data we could on that piece of the county. Federal data, state, you name it, and we built a immense database. And then we analyzed the data. And I had my directors analyze the data, and we worked the community analyze the data. And then we identified challenges and opportunities in that corridor. And then my directors and their teams sat down and came up with proposed action items. We came up with over 60 action items to address the challenges and take advantage of the opportunities. And then we rolled it out to the community, and we briefed them. What do you think of this? What of our analysis of our opportunities? So got a lot of great feedback. We hold monthly feedback sessions on that. Quarterly, we put out our own report card. We put out a quarterly newsletter to the community, let them know how we're doing on this. And we're holding ourselves accountable. And people don't want to talk. They want to see action. And we're doing a lot of great stuff. And the community's interested. They're involved. And I think it's working very well.
And the next meeting is, I believe, in the springtime, late spring, early summer.
Yeah, we have a public meeting coming up. June is the next public meeting where we'll sit down and say, what do you think we're doing? We'll brief them on what we're doing and ask for their feedback on whether we're doing the right things and whether the things we're doing, whether we're doing them the right way. And it's been great. It's very successful, and I'm very proud of what my directors and staff writ large have done, but also the community. It's not. I tell folks, it's not just the government. It's got to be the community and the business community as well. And all three have bought in very well. And I'm pleased to see the businesses growing down there. I'm pleased to see the population joining in this effort and the volunteer groups. And so I'm looking for really great stuff over coming years there.
You both talked about the tremendous importance of volunteers and nonprofits. You have the volunteer fair coming up in April. Talk a little bit about that. That sounds exciting.
Sure. So we're going to showcase all organizations that are looking for volunteers. So I believe the date is April 30th.
April 30th.
And it will be at the McFall Activity Center, which is one of our senior centers. So we're going to have organizations there. We'll be set up. We'll have tables. We'll have staff there. So anybody who's interested in volunteering can come meet all the different agencies that are looking for volunteers and hopefully find that match that suits them so that they can get out and volunteer for the community.
Harford's Most Beautiful has nothing to do with looks. It has everything to do with heart, right? It's all about volunteers. Harford TV, we a lot of talk about this a lot. Talk about the Harford's Most Beautiful. We've talked to some people on this show who have been honored with that designation.
So I just plugged that resource fair, the volunteer resource fair that Barbara, it's from 2 to 5 at McFall on April 30th. And we really, we know there's a lot of folks out there that want to volunteer, and we want to match the community spirit up with the volunteer organizations. And this is really important, and I appreciate you letting us get an opportunity. But we have so many wonderful volunteers, and this seeks to highlight, the special people seeks to highlight those volunteers. And so nominations open up in June. The public nominates folks, and anyone can nominate, and anyone can be nominated. But the people have to be doing volunteer work for some entity in the county. And we've got a new piece of this. It's a special award for first responders, volunteers, because as you know, our fire service is all volunteer. And then we have a great ceremony in October, and Harford TV covers it. It's very nice, and get to showcase some of these folks. The details are on our website, and I invite folks to take a look at that. But if you got those great volunteers, send their names in. Let's take a look at them. We want to give people the credit they deserve for the amazing things that our volunteers do.
And another way you can volunteer, you don't get paid for this, is being on a commission. There are a lot of commissions as well, right, that people can become involved in.
Yeah, so we oversee, there's the Veterans Commission, there's the Women's Commission, there's the Disabilities Commission, and the
Human Relations.
You're good.
So, lots of commissions, lots of opportunities.
Yeah, so that's when we encourage volunteers, members of the community. If one of these areas is close and near and dear to your heart, we'd love to have you on the commission, because a lot of times they're tasked with doing some of the work and overseeing some of the events, and so we really rely on community members to steer the direction, and so it's a great opportunity to serve. So we encourage folks that are interested to let us know.
Go on the website.
Yep.
Yeah. And when you talked about changing the Department of Housing and Community Services, sir, you probably weren't 100% sure of how it was going to work out. You had your vision for it, but I heard you mention how you really appreciate the leaders in the various agencies and how they've come together. You can certainly give a shout out to them.
Yeah. Look, in any of these things in government, you sort of have a vision and you start rolling it out slowly, but it really depends upon people like Barbara and her amazing staff to step in and grab the vision and run with it. And so she's doing a great job. Susan Affleck Bowers, her deputy, and Kevin Greenwell, and these folks are out there working real hard every day to make this. But it goes all the way. It's not just the leaders. They have those folks in the trenches who are dealing with the substance abuse, people like Sandy Gallion, who are out there every day. And it's such a tough job to deal with folks who recidivate, and you get them so far up the ladder and then they drop off. and the folks in our aging deal with the age population. I watch them with such compassion and patience dealing with folks. And even our transit drivers on Harford Link, we do a great job with providing people out there who go the extra mile to assist and be courteous and polite to the folks who need a lift. And so it's a great team, and I think the citizens are very well served by it, and we're very proud of that team.
Barbara, everything I think of that has anything to do with human beings seems to come back to your department. It's a vast array of services. What's your favorite part of your day? Just something good that's happened that you remember.
Well, I will say every day I either get an email or a phone call thanking one of my staff or something that we've done, just, because every day we're helping people pay their rent. We're giving out free computers. We're connecting people with resources, and it's really changing lives. And, every once in a while you get that special letter that's handwritten by a senior citizen who was, trying to, pay their utility bill or something. And, that is so heartwarming. But, daily I get a shout out to a staff member or something that we did. So it's a very rewarding position, and very blessed to have such a talented staff.
I'm not too smart, but you guys are, so I'll bet you the rent money. There's a website we can put up on the screen for people who have more information or need more information about this agency.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping you got the website, because I'm terrible at recalling the exact website.
There it is. It's up on the screen right now.
I try to vocalize it, and I'm going to screw it up, and then they'll go to the wrong place.
Well, the point is you want people to call or visit the website if they have any service needs whatsoever.
Service needs, volunteer opportunities, just thoughts, ideas. We really depend. This whole area is so much dependent upon community support. If the community supports it, it'll work. If they don't, doesn't matter how hard the government pushes, it's not going to work. So we need community input.
County Executive, thank you so much for being here. Barbara, pleasure to meet you. Best of luck. You better get back to work. You got a lot of agencies working there. Thank you very much, both. Thank you for watching Inside Harford County, airing exclusively on Harford TV. Please join us again next month. On behalf of our wonderful crew here, I'm Mark Vernarelli. Thanks again for watching.